Introduce yourselves.
Ladies first.
First.
Well, I'm Mitchy. I'm from Japan originally. I've been practicing Aikido since 1997, so it's almost quite some time. I've been living in Europe more than 10 years. I was traveling a lot. Japan, not Japan, but outside Australia, Southeast Asia, and then I came to Europe and started Aikido. Well, starting Aikido in Japan, but I didn't really practice because work was quite busy. So after that, after moved to Italy, started seriously in a way that technically practice. And then I met Patrick through Miles. And I remember I came to quiz seminar first time. It was like, I don't know how long ago. Until then I was doing only technical Aikido, and now, at that time I felt something is there, but I didn't really quite understand. And try to understand was really big job for me. But then so attracted to and stays in my mind, and I kept going to the seminars of Miles Patrick since. Yeah. So now we have dojo suddenly dropped to us. And I've been always refused to admit to become a teacher or having dojo. Both ideas are just far, far away, and I couldn't even imagine myself doing that. But suddenly things just unfolded. Oh my God.
Well, my name is Antony. I come from France, south of France. I started Aikido in 2009, and basically I started with Patrick. And my way who led me to Aikido was a bit funny in a way, but I met Patrick once in the street, and I decided to join the morning's weapon training, and I started Aikido like that. At the beginning it was a bit difficult for me, but at the same time very I was catched by something inside. So because Patrick, is not very technical. He teach techniques, but what he offers is more profound than that. And at the beginning it was very, very stressful for me, because it's something that you can feel but you cannot understand. So you say, how can I go in that way? And so basically I continued to train. It was maybe once a week or something like that. And step by step I started coming twice a week and 3 times a week, and after that I became kind of addicted to Aikido. So yeah, then last year the dojo package fell onto our head, and we started to create something together, so which is nice.
And just to let the audience know, who's watching, so about your relationship. So you are a married couple?
Yeah, we are married, yeah.
Since 1 year, maybe?
A little bit less. So basically we get married, and 1 week after we open dojo, so
Yes.
so it was something like 8 months, yeah.
And you met, you started a relationship during the Uchideshi program.
This is secret.
No,
It's okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah, we met. I came to Uchideshi to test to experience what it's like to be Uchideshi just for 1 week, and then following year in May, I came to be long-term Uchideshi. and then after a while we connected, and then we get married. We decided to get married.
Yeah, everything went very smoothly and step by step. Dankai taking.
Which is, I think, when I think about it, it's always a very good sign. It's like Aikido, if you do a jiwaza, it goes well, it flows in, it's a good sign. How was it to start a dojo? How was your experience of starting a dojo? How did it feel?
For me, it's amazing,
Yeah.
because there are several points why I would say amazing, because firstly you learn Aikido from different perspective, from different point of view. There's so many techniques that I went through in past, I don't know, more than 15 years, but every time is new as a student. But when you start teaching, you really see different things that you never seen before. And secondly, the relationship with a student is very new for me, new things. It's like going to the new world, completely new world. And I never become teacher before, so I could not imagine how it's gonna be, of course. And slowly relationship with a student develops, but sometimes I just question myself, am I doing right or wrong? And this question always there, am I behaving like a teacher, am I behaving like a friend, am I behaving like nobody, or and that's really open something new to me. And thirdly, it raised more question about growth of myself and growth of other people. And Patrick once said to me, we are like parents of your students. And I know what he meant, And I always think about dojo, I always think about students. And yeah, it is a parenting job. It's not just technical Aikido, it's more than that. And there's always new challenge. It's something to do, could be something to do with the political things, could be something, just a small piece of things, practical things that has to be done. It's like a new, completely new door, new chapter. But it's nice. I feel I'm in the right direction. Right. That's the most important things.
Yeah, for me it's a very challenging, because it made me grow very quickly. Meaning you cannot answer to the situation as you answered before, and now it's clear. You are a teacher, you are responsible for your students, but at the same time they are looking how you behave. So you cannot answer in the same way. So everything that I pushed away for several times, saying no, it's okay, I can deal with that or something, now came back directly, and boom, now you have to change or you have to move on. You cannot stay as you were. It's very it's unbelievable. And as Mitchy said, it's a very like a parents things, because you always worried. There is always something, say, like she said, maybe political, maybe worry about your student or money, or there is always something. Am I leading them in a good path? This is for me the most worried thing. Am I leading them in the path that they want to go and they should go to? Because it's like when kids want to eat a lot of sugar, You are the parent, so you have to say no, no, no. You have to stop, or you will be sick. And it's exactly the same with students in Aikido. You need to lead them, and in order to lead them, you need to be very clear with yourself. And it's very, yeah, for me, it was challenging. Step by step, I start to understand the way that I need to go in order to lead them in a positive way, basically.
Yeah. But I feel we are very lucky where we are now, because we can still be able to train as a student, as well consult if anything we cannot do by ourselves. So we can ask help, we can get support, we can get advice. So I feel we are really lucky where
in terms that
distance,
Montreux
Montreux, Vevey,
Connection with them. If we need advices or something, we know that we can ask to the community or to the people. That's very nice.
Yeah.
What do you feel is for you the most important in Aikido for your own development, and what do you feel like you really want your students to get to receive from your training? Is that, did you consider that question, or is it happening more naturally? What would you say?
For me, this question is alive.
It moves constantly, I would say. Sometimes you want more balance. Sometimes you want more spontaneity. It depends, really depends for me. I don't really have a point that I want them to get.
It's not like very concrete.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm a bit concerned is to lead them in a dark side. Become Darth Vader or something like that.
Yeah.
But still, what would be very interesting for me to hear as well is that in terms of Aikido, there's so many Aikido schools which know that there's this spiritual background, or there's this depth somewhere, but they don't really have an access to it. Like sometimes what is interesting with the YouTube channel, some of the people write, oh wow, I saw a bit of what Aikido philosophy means and how it can actually be applied in Aikido, and so many people are inspired about that, but not everyone know how to connect it, connect training with it. So I'm kind of curious in that sense. What do you feel, not necessarily only as teacher, but that spiritual side of Aikido? How do you feel people can benefit from it? What is the spiritual side of Aikido? If you would say. If it's okay, if it's not.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I understand what you mean. I found this spiritual side of Aikido is actually it's there all the time, not something separate things. Even though you are practicing technical Aikido, but spiritual side does not mean it's somewhere else.
Right.
It's already there, but you just have to open up, or you just have to listen to it, or be curious about it. And when you talk to somebody who's been doing this, technical, painful twist kind of Aikido for such a long time, they know what is harmony, and they know it's important to be harmonized, the movement with the others. But as you said, it's not so clear how to describe, how to put into the practice. Maybe because it's something that makes them too vulnerable, or makes them think it's weak. But certainly I'd like to put that weight into the spiritual side. I don't know, more feelings, more fundamental being into the Aikido practice. Doesn't eliminate the technical part. It's both sides, and I think anyone, even kids, can know it without having the same understanding as adults to the adult people. But still, for me, it is important to have those aspects into the practice. I'm not sure I answer your questions.
It makes sense for me. Definitely makes sense for me.
Yeah.
And I think it also will make sense to whoever is in that situation.
Yeah. I often feel that we tend to make separation between technical Aikido against spiritual Aikido. Both sides that's not against each other. It just that's not recognized or that's not open up doors to the other side.
Yeah.
You know, I think the question is how to integrate those two into the practice, or how do you encourage people to step farther or go beyond. Okay, I have to do the first part by myself, and then demonstrate and being together as a integrated Aikido teacher. But
for many people practicing Aikido, they know that there's the spiritual background. You know, Sensei was very spiritual, and Aikido has this philosophy, and there are these books. But for many people, Aikido and spirituality, as kind of Mitchy pointed out too, they're two separate things, and too many people don't really know how to. Where's the connection point between those two? And I know, as far as I know you, and I've seen your dojo. It's one big thing. It's not separate. So I'm just curious, what's your perspective about that? What do you feel? How can Aikido benefit people's lives besides just coming and learning the technique? Because for us practicing here, it's almost self-obvious, but for many people it's just like it's completely unknown. So.
Yeah, as Mitchy said, there is a technical part and a spiritual part, and that's from what I saw until now. The spiritual part is very put aside a little bit. There was a lot of technical parts. It's like two parts of a brain. The one is connecting to the rational part, and the other one is more artistic. And it's like they cannot be separated. They have to work together. So sometimes the rational part takes the how do you call that, the advantage, and sometimes it's artistic part, and sometimes it's well balanced. I think Aikido should be like that, a balance between spirituality, but at the same time technically. But yeah, to have a kind of relationship which is very aligned with life itself, because what we call spirituality in Aikido are more life perspective. It's not some word that we put here because it works. It's something. Life works like that.
I think we often face to this dual mind, and I can feel, even though you let's say enlightened, or let's say you experience something that you know, this is not I'm not who I think I am, or even though you experience something that's okay, I'd like to include everybody for at any situation, but still you are living in this world who always face the conflict or dual thinking way of being, and this is really challenging. So it's not like I'm done, I've finished, I know what it is, I can be with anybody. It doesn't work like that. You are all constantly challenged for new situations, and it's like a spiral. Always meet the new challenge, but you're going up and you grow in different ways. which is very scary, you know. It's non-stop.
Yeah, it asks a lot of courage, basically.
Right.
It asks a lot of courage. Because you are constantly in the unknown, and it's something that the rational mind doesn't like. Really.
Yeah, it's interesting also, also look at it that, in the technical perspective, there's sometimes is that feeling, you can kind of feel like there's always space for development, etc. But there's also that point where you reach and you're like, I kind of know this technique. Training becomes a bit boring. You kind of, this technique. Okay, how much time do we have left? And there's the separation, as you spoke. So, but it's great what you're referring to, that when you're in that, when you emphasize and welcome both perspectives, it's endless. Techniques or the training never becomes boring. And in terms of maybe for the audience, since you're both here together, I think it's quite a unique chance to hear how is it running a dojo together. That's an okay question. Because I mean there are some cases like Peter Julia, but I don't think it's like super common, super often to see that. So but it's amazing. So I'm just curious, how do you feel? How is it running the dojo as a couple?
It's up and down. It's like life. No, sometimes it's very challenging. Sometimes it's very smooth. But I think for me, as I see things, it's as long as we stay on the same direction, our intention is very clear. Doing that, if our humor is doing that, it doesn't really matter, because the intention is here for both of us. So, yeah, there is up and down, but it's life itself, I would say.
Yeah, for me too. At the beginning, it was not easy because.
Why?
What do you mean?
It wasn't so smooth, let's say, but it's more like bumps and oops, face the new challenge. Okay, let me breathe first, rather than blame outside. Okay, maybe I should look myself first, and then, okay, I'm listening to you. Okay, I said that. I'm sorry, but it's a learning process too.
Yeah.
And I know we have the same direction, which is very important. So whatever new challenges come, we talk from this place where what is important. Is money important, or is doing this event is so important? Why?
Right.
And what has to be done to do that. In that sense, it's giving a nutrition to each other. I would say.
I think it's like Patrice said, you become parents. It's like a little bit our baby, so we have to take care about that, and sometimes it's you didn't give milk to the kids, something like that. Right. But it's for me, nice adventure, very nice. It's like a creation together. It's very cool, and it's a new nutrition for the couple too. Right.
He is different, certainly. He is different from my way of thinking, my way of Aikido, or my way of teaching. But I learn a lot. I always admire his classes or way of teaching.
For me, the same, yeah. She opened new perspective, which is very weird, because I don't know how to explain that. When she teach, she mentions some stuff, or she sees some stuff that I couldn't have seen, and it's very interesting to talk about that later. After. What do you think?
I think for me it's a pretty obvious answer, but still for everyone to hear it. would you say that running a dojo together is kind of an Aikido practice for you as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
You can apply Aikido in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Aikido principle come from life itself. I mean, it's a very. If you want to survive, you need to take ukemi sometimes.
And then stand up.
And then stand up. Yeah.
Give me and stand up. Okay, another one.
Yeah.
And last official question. What would you suggest to a beginner Aikido person who just started Aikido, to an advanced person who's already practicing for some time, and to a person who, and the third one would be, would you suggest someone running to run a dojo, or who would you suggest to run a dojo?
I would suggest different things, but the main thing is be aligned with the intention. Don't go in a way that you don't want to go because you think that it will be good for you. If you want something, go into it. And yeah, for beginners, just train. For advanced people, just train. And for somebody who wants to run a dojo, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Good advice.
From me is be hungry.
Be hungry.
Yes, be hungry. Okay, with a line of intention is important, but be hungry and be open. And anyone, any levels, it doesn't matter. I think for the beginners, they need lots of encouragement because they often, they judge themselves. Did I do right? Did I do okay? But if you are hungry, you don't have time to think about that.
Right.
And advanced people, when they get used to the technique and used to the same exercise, start thinking what else can we do. But if you're hungry, there's no time to think about that too.
There is always something to learn.
Yes. And running dojo, yes, hunger is important, but I would say more open. Open to what people say, what the community is giving you or telling you. That's something we are under the process to. We are working on it. Yes, because we tend to go into too much detail and chasing the tails rather than stay in the intention.
And is there anything else you would be inspired yourself to share? I mean, this is thousands of people who watch this.
Oh my
Not
God.
to put any pressure, but so people, Aikido people, non-Aikido people, experiences. So there's it's directed to Aikido. So is there anything you would be inspired to share?
Ladies first.
Is there anything on the tip of your tongue? It'd be nice to say this. It's not necessary.
Don't take drugs. If you become a pop star, you get for free. No, sorry.
Okay, I divorce.
Sorry.
No, just
It's okay.
yeah. I think so. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so then my last video. So I used to do this when I was a teenager myself. I used to write a lot. Like a diary. And there's this trick I used to do. So I would write a message to myself in the future.
Oh.
I'd be like, because especially when I was very much inspired, I would think probably there's going to be a day when I'm going to get, older, more skeptical, more cynical, and I'm going to write this down so that when I read it, back myself up. So if you would make that message for your future self, you watch this video a year, 5 years, 10 years, what would that be from this moment? What would you want to say to your future self? If it was,
Did you know what you started? That I would say to myself. I mean, I'm doing that to myself to the like 2 years ago or 5 years ago.
Okay, so it's already a continuous process.
Yes.
Do you know what you started?
Did you know what you have started? You had started?
Like in terms of an intention, direction?
Yeah, like for me, I wanted to do only Aikido. I wanted to practice Aikido. And now what is happening is like being a teacher, having a dojo, and practicing Aikido almost all days. And I just wanted, looking after kids and thinking about dojo and kids all the time. How can I look up? How can I be responsible for their growth through the Aikido? Those kind of things was totally out of my mind. It wasn't in my map. So I just wanted to practice Aikido, and that's it. But actually, something big things came, and I didn't know this was going to happen. So in that sense, did you know what you started? What you had started?
Release control and stay aligned, I would say.
Stay alive or?
Aligned.
Aligned.
Yeah. Release control and stay aligned. Accept to fall, accept to sink to rise more, I would say.
Well, thank you very much for this chance. We were the very first ones on the Coffee with the Sensei. I think it's
Coffee with
awesome.
Sensei.
And maybe it might change the name, but it's like my concept.
You can call that
which
cappuccino.
Right. Every time like tea with Sensei, beer with Sensei. Well, because the idea is, it's kind of this extra chair makes it very much aligned with the vision. Is that in the Aikido world, there's such a big separation oftentimes with the instructor, the Sensei, and the student, and many people don't often get to experience, okay, so what's the perspective, what does the Sensei see outside of just what they teach, and so kind of to give the viewer a chance to sit here in this conversation, to listen in, to feel into it, to drink a coffee with the Sensei Dojo-Chos. So I think which is a great chance, and that's why I was like, for those 2 weeks I was like, can we do it, can we do it, can we do it? Since I think people will be very inspired about this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm very thankful for you, and I'll just tell official statement. So you were running Aikido Sanjin Golf.
Sanjin Golf, yes.
It's like other side of the lake somewhere there.
Yeah.
It's in France,
Yeah.
next to Switzerland.
Yes.
And so it's going to be a website link.
Oh, cool.
Here, and video, a promo video of your dojo somewhere like here. So it's always nice to show these things because later you add it and it looks cool. You point it at virtual things.
Cool.
Again.
Back to studio.
Back to studio.
So,
you have to go like back to studio.
yeah, right. And now the weather report.